Another week, another day on the couch
Another
with Emil.
another podcast.
With our tea. So I'm so excited to have you here with us today because I'm picking your brain about something that you are the queen expert
Oh my God, Joan,
on.
that pressure.
Well, in my perspective anyway, we're talking postpartum and birth. Now, it hasn't been that long ago since you experienced your last birth.
Literally 8 months ago.
Right. Let's start there. How was it?
Do you know what? She was one of my most challenging births in terms of how long it was, like fourth baby. And, oh, my God, the nightmare pregnancy that I had with my irritable uterus, we would have thought she would have just fallen out. But, no, she wanted to take her time. So in terms of, like, she was definitely one of my longest births, but it was beautiful. I had an epidural and it was amazing. And I just lay there and it was heaven. A bit of vomiting on the side, a bit of feeling faint, you know, all that comes with childbirth.
Yeah.
But, no, it was good. And it's just been – like, I'm not going to say a breeze. It's just she's just slotted in and fitted into our life postpartum. She's had no choice, and I've had no choice but to keep going.
Yeah, superwoman that you are with all that you juggle.
Not, believe me, I'm not. I'm drowning inside.
I love it because you are very authentic about your drowning escapades on Insta, which is why we all love you because you're so raw.
Oh my God.
But what I want to know, I know for me it was a really big stress around knowing that you're going to give birth. I've got another child, having to coordinate where that other child's got to go so that, mums, we worry about everything.
So absolutely.
Did you worry about that?
I'm just really lucky that I've got so many brothers and sisters and they are all willingly putting their hands up to help, which is, I can't imagine not having, like I've had women come in to give birth with their other child. I'm not even lying, in the birth suite because they don't have, I know, and it breaks my fucking heart. And I wanted to say, I'll look after your child so you can get in the zone and it's just so shit and it's so real for so many people, especially those that are temporarily here, should I say. Yeah. I was lucky. I've got a big village around me. So that wasn't an issue. However, it's the afterbirth that I think when I'm in hospital, like, oh my God, Ambrose, please just make sure they're not having too many late nights. Yes. Don't bring him into the hospital. Like I said to Ambrose this time, just bring him in once and then let me enjoy my 4 days of private bliss, because it's more stressful having them come in and then there's separation anxiety of them leaving and then I get the guilt of, oh my God, I need to go home.
Yes.
And I must say, this time, like, they all came in. Obviously, they were so good the first day. Then the second day, they wanted to come in. The second they woke up at 6 a.m. And then they came in and then them leaving was really hard. Like, they just all cried, I want to come home, Mummy. It's boring. I need you home. And I was like, for fuck's sake, this is why.
Yeah.
So I actually cut my hospital stay short, only by a night. And my doctor's like, just stay. You'll regret it. And I was like, no, I won't. And I kind of was like, I should have listened to you.
Was it did you notice the difference coming home? Do you think
no, it's not even like I came home. I felt really ready to come home. But then like a weekend I was like, I could just do with another night away, just me and the baby.
Can I check myself
in? Literally, Scout was born on the 3rd of January and then on the 8th is Coco's birthday. So 3, 4, 5. Wow. So within 2 days of being home, we had a party for Coco. And we both have big families. And I was like, it's fine. I'm in my oxytocin high. I feel great after giving birth. And then we had literally like 40 people here for Coco's birthday. And then they all coincidentally met the baby at the same time. And then after that, I was like, I'm on the edge. No more visitors. I am done.
I can't believe you hosted.
Well, it was just, you know what, to be honest, it was less stressful for me to have people here than me having to pack up all the kids and go somewhere for this bloody party. Yeah. And I didn't even have to have a party for her, but I felt like I had to make it extra special because she was turning 3 and we just had another baby. Yeah. Anyway, luckily we had our pool done, so everyone just had a pool party outside. Nice, yeah. But in all my videos of me, like 4 or 5 days postpartum, I'm like, I can't believe all these people here and I look like this, and I was so dead tired.
I did not hat goes off to you.
I don't know. I kind of, that's a bit silly on my behalf. Like I kind of run on adrenaline and I just like, I'll take it on, I'll do that. It's easy. I've got my village, but then I crash and burn at the end of it.
How did the kids go with a new baby in the family? Did we have jealousy?
Good. No. I always say this about Coco. It's really funny. I reckon she was the best out of all of them. She was the most excited. Essie was like, they've all been so amazing. The older two were a little bit more emotional, just needing me going into school and stuff. That's fine. Yeah. Coco's jealousy, I reckon, started when all the kids went back to school, and then she went feral. Like I reckon she got her jealous stage probably 6 months in.
Yeah.
Then we're kind of still in that now.
Yeah, okay. Mummy.
Mummy, oh, well, you saw.
Mummy. Yeah.
I've had to cut about 10 times to cut her up strawberries and give a Princess Coco a water bottle.
This is parent life, guys.
Oh, fuck at its finest. My goodness.
The juggle is freaking real.
It's absolutely real.
I want to know because I think apparently the breastfeeding situation, you've had to go dairy and gluten-free.
Absolute.
Talk to us about that.
Absolute nightmare. So I really empathise, can we speak, with all the mums that have had to do this. And it's something I hear about all the time and I'm like, is this even really a thing? Yeah. So when I look back, absolutely all my kids have had it but Essie. It just kind of wasn't a thing when Alfie was born. So when Alfie was born, he screamed 24/7 until I went to sleep school and he started sleeping. And he had explosive green poos and he fed 24/7 and I just thought it was lactose overload because I was feeding him all the time because it was crazy. And then anyway, he had severe constipation. And now I look back, I'm like, oh, that was it. He had tummy pains and severe constipation. Essie was absolutely fine, no issues with her. Coco, I did go and see a ped for her after birth because she had like explosive, really stinky poos. Not really that unsettled, a little bit of colic, just shocking skin and shocking poos. And I just kind of pushed through and they're like, it could be a little bit of this. I'm like, nah, she's right. However, now she definitely has a dairy thing going on. Like if she has a milkshake, she's doubled over in pain and trying to tell her that she can't have dairy. It's just, it's a nightmare. Yeah. And then Scout was born and I didn't think any issues. And then within a week, I'm like, God, you've got the worst baby eczema. And all my kids got it, but they don't normally get it to 3 to 6 weeks. Okay. She was covered from head to toe. And I remember thinking, oh, that's so early. And she was really colicky. And I'm like, this is so early for colic to be starting. Like you are absolutely doubled over in stomach pains. And then I touched base with the ped and I was like, oh, do you think? She's like, no, just normal newborn acne, just lots of hormone overload. She's fine, all normal. It wasn't until one of my followers said to me, hey, my baby's had CMPI and that looks exactly like my baby's did. And they sent me a photo and I was like, they do look identical skins. Is it the newborn rash or is it this? And then I presented it to the pediatrician and I was like, do you think it's this? And she's like, I think it's unlikely, but it could be. Let's just see. Okay. And then within that same day, she'd had blood in her poo at a week old and I sent it to the ped and I was like, and she's like, oh yeah, that's let's cut the dairy. So she said, all you can do is try. I'm not lying. So this probably brings us up to week 3. Yeah. Cut out the dairy and the soy as well straight away. She said, do both. Wow, I'm not lying. In 24 hours, her horrific acne gone. Woke up and she was clean. Wow. And I was like, fucking holy hell, that's a real allergy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And now we have to maintain it.
Now we have to maintain it. I've had a lot of slip-ups. I try and be really good. And to be honest, I feel like she's not as bad as what she was if I do have an accident, like I add an Easter egg at Easter and that was fucked. I shouldn't have done that. She was like cried for 5 days straight. Oh, no. And then I was really good, really strict. And then recently I had some cheese in a meatball and I didn't realise. And I was like, oh, she wasn't too bad. Okay. I was like, oh, okay. And then so it's kind of trying to break out of it. Peds will say don't introduce dairy and soy until 12 months.
You're nearly there. How many months are you?
8 months. So I'm kind of just I had a little bit of milk then in my tea because I know she doesn't have it severely anymore. Yeah. Put it that way. There's been no blood in her stools for a long time. She doesn't get the gut pains that she used to have. Her skin hasn't broken out yet. Okay. So I am at the point now where I'm so desperate for dairy and soy back in my life. I'm like, do I wean? Do I try and push her through? I'm trying to push her through to see. At the moment, it's not causing any issues. I've only just started, so let's see. Maybe in a week. Yeah. I don't want to have to wean her, but I'm dying for milk. So I'm hoping she can tolerate it and I can still breastfeed.
That's right. And so does it mean that they all necessarily have a dairy allergy for the rest?
No. Okay. So a lot of kids outgrow it by the time they're like 2 or 3. Okay. A lot of the time. Don't quote me on the stats but around that. Yeah. So there's like a dairy ladder you follow from like 12 months.
How did that impact your mental health?
Awful. And can I just say, hats off to all these mums that have done it for so long. I actually was unaware as a midwife and a lactation consultant how much this impacts women. It's horrific and it's really definitely made my breastfeeding journey hard. I just do it with my eyes closed easy. This one's been feed. Yeah. Can't have this. Yeah.
So conscious of it?
Just you can't go out and just indulge. Yeah. You've got to watch I'm in the back of, supermarket aisles. I'm like, hold on, Coco, let me just read this. Oh, fuck, it's got soy. Oh, this has got dairy.
And most things do. Like
90% of things do.
Like
so then, as a mum, you have to be organised to cook clean foods. Yeah. Oh, who's got time to cook chops and greens for lunch and dinner? You don't.
Right.
So you've got to be savvy in your food planning. But I'm at the point now where I'm like, it is just so hard and so much.
And like, I think I treat myself with chocolate at the end of the day, you know.
Absolutely.
If you don't have that.
If you know me, I'm addicted to like cheesecake.
Right.
No wonder I can't lose the baby weight. You know, like honestly.
And you can't even dabble a little bit. Yeah.
And you know, everyone's like, oh, don't worry, you'll love this diet because you'll just shed the weight because you can't eat anything. Yeah. I'm actually the opposite. I have gained going to oat milk and to coconut yogurt.
Wow.
Like, and I don't even eat a lot of it. But that's the only thing in my diet I can think I don't have what I normally have, and I can't shift my postpartum weight. I mean, I do have a lot of lollies, as you see.
Yeah,
but
still,
I don't know.
It's
just I just feel like this diet has definitely negatively impacted me.
Yeah.
Not to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting mentally unwell over it, but I do want to keep feeding her for a little bit longer.
Yeah. So did you ever experience sort of mental health challenges within any of your your whole parenting journey? Like anything that?
No, just the postpartum anxiety with Essie that we've touched on.
Yeah.
But apart from that, this has been challenging.
What did that look like, the postpartum anxiety? For those listening, what does it look like?
Just the overwhelm. So I could feel like we were in a really chaotic stage of our life. I was still working full-time in my business with a 9-month-old and like a nearly 2-year-old. It was crazy. And then I could just feel like things slowly getting harder. Like getting out to the shops became a little bit more overwhelming. Like getting the kids to the park, something so easy. Yeah. Too hard basket. And then my period came back, and then literally the day my period came back, I had a major panic attack and I thought I was dying. I was like, oh my God. And the doctor's like, no, you're just really low in iron, because I don't normally have anxiety. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. I just felt like I was in a constant panic. Yeah. Like for months.
Just everything on edge. Like just
ridiculous. Consuming me. Like I couldn't make it out the door. I was like, the shops are so overwhelming. How am I going to get to the counter with 2 kids that are crying? And how am I going to get through checkout? And then what if they won't get in the car? Just fucked up anxiety, which a lot of mums can relate to. And I must say, the more I talk about it on my Instagram, the engagement goes through the roof because every woman experiences, but not everyone, but they are, what's the taboo?
Taboo.
They feel it's, that's right. They're so ashamed. Yeah. And what I've learned is you can't control this.
No. And so what did you do?
Oh, so I did all the things you meant to do. Yeah. I started exercising regularly. I cut out sugar, because sugar and caffeine we talked about before was a big trigger for me.
Sugar.
Lack of sleep absolutely sends me. Like I'm the same now. If I don't have a good night's sleep, I can feel my anxiety bubbling away. Yes. Did all the right things and natural things. Went and saw a psychologist, which I'd never seen before. They're like, maybe it might help. It definitely helped, but honestly, the anxiety didn't settle until I went on anxiety medication.
Okay.
And that was absolutely life-changing.
Really? How long did you wait to go on it, do you think?
A couple of months. Okay. And I remember going to the doctor being like, Ambrose is like, I can't actually, she's like, she's no good. Like, you got to sort her out. And I was like, I literally couldn't even, I can't even explain it. It was the worst 3 weeks of my life, thinking I was literally, I'm never going to come out of this.
Jesus.
Babe, I couldn't even go to the shops.
Yeah, wow.
I would wake up and I'd feel like I wanted to vomit all day. And I'm like, Ambrose, what's wrong with me? Am I dying? Is there something wrong with me?
Wow.
And then finally they medicated me, and she said it's going to take a good 6 weeks to kick in.
Yeah.
And it did, but it was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back. And honestly, I could probably go, I'm still medicated now, and I absolutely openly speak about this, and I could probably go off my anxiety medication now, but my doctor's like, why would you?
Okay.
And I'm like, well, because I just feel like I don't need meds. And she's like, hold on, but you're in the thick of parenthood. Your hormones are mental. And when I get my period, I get this like that breakthrough anxiety. It's shocking.
Right.
Oh, this is all so much fucked up shit people don't talk about.
Oh, and my GP, women have to go through.
Oh my God. And I went to the GP. I'm like, listen, I feel like when I get my period, which I haven't got it back yet with Scout after Coco and that, I was like, I feel like when I get my period, like I get this really crazy anxiety where I can't literally catch my breath for 24 hours. And she's like, yeah, you need the pill to combat that. So I'm like, oh, fuck, on top of doing all these natural things, all the right things, eating the right foods, exercising, meditating, blah, blah, blah. It's a real hormone imbalance with me. It's definitely hormone related.
Can you explain to me, did you feel like the positive emotions also are more simmered down when
No.
you are on? That's
No.
what I worry about. Okay,
No.
Okay.
So I was the same. I was like,
Yeah.
is this going to take away like my
Your
zest for
zest,
life? Like, because I don't have
yes,
depression. I just feel
yes,
anxious all the
yes.
time. Is this going to make my mood go flat? Am I going to have no personality? Am I going to lose myself?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It was, no. I mean, maybe I'm not as crazy as what I was. People will beg to differ. Ambrose will beg to differ. No, I think
just takes the edge off.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was the best thing I ever did.
Okay.
And I just can't believe, I mean, I'm not going to push medication down people's throats, but I can't believe so many women suffer. And I'm not saying medication is the answer for everybody, but so many women suffer and so many women don't prioritize their mental health because motherhood does not have to be this groundhog day in, day out, mundane thing. It doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah.
And things shouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
Yes, it's okay to get overwhelmed. We all do. But I tell you what, I just like, I say to women, it's okay. Go and see your GP. I'm not saying be medicated. And then I have women message me. Like I had a girl the other day and she's like, hey, I'm still really on the fence about taking my medication. I've had it in my script for 3 months and I'm just drowning, but I don't. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
If you've got diabetes, you're going to take your insulin, aren't you? It's the same for mental health.
It's prioritizing it, and it's interesting because I experienced postnatal, and I then went and saw. So I got the mental health plan. Went to my GP, started doing talk therapy, and for me, that supported me. It's just finding those things and taking the time to do it.
What works for you?
What works for you?
See, my nervous system was in such a wound up state that nothing could cut the cycle of the anxiety. Like it was just horrific, and I was like, Ambrose, if I don't treat this, I'm going to end up with postnatal depression. I'm not a depressed person. I'm not even an anxious person. It's a very scary time.
Yeah.
I never wanted to feel like that ever again.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
What would you say to those women, particularly women, I know that's predominantly both of our audiences, sitting there, in the first 6 weeks, maybe it's the first child and going, shit, this isn't what I thought it was going to be.
I've just written a whole book on this, which is being released in March, actually, the fourth trimester, and it addresses all that. It literally talks about the realities of having a child, not the pros and cons, but the everyday life of we're going to have good days and bad days, and also about things from my perspective, how I experience them. And what I can say is it's not all fucking sunshine and rainbows like everybody thinks, and it's definitely not a highlight reel like Instagram shows. I would dare say maybe one day a week you're going to feel like putting your makeup on. I don't know, am I wrong?
Yeah, it's
some days it's really hard to get out of the house.
Yep.
It's going to be a challenging time, but it's not forever. It is not forever. That's what I say to everybody. It will be hard. We can do hard things though. It's not forever.
What would you say sort of key sort of themes then, talking about the first 6 weeks?
Oh, well, lean on your village if you have one. That's the most important thing. Limit your visitors and take the help when people offer you help. I mean, gone are the days of sleep when the baby sleeps. We all laugh at that because that's just impossible. We know that. But if grandma says, let me come and take your other baby out, let me take him for the park, let me have him for the night, let them. It's good for your other child. It's good for you. So leaning on your village is really important. Checking in with your maternal child health nurse or your GP or your obstetrical midwife if you feel like things aren't going well, if you're not mentally coping. And it's okay to say you're not coping because if you're not coping, it can be fixed. So we don't have to suffer. And be transparent with your friends and your family and your partner with how you're feeling. Like I remember being like, I was like, I'm fine, I'm just pushing through, I'm fine. But inside I was dying. I still had to get the dinner ready. I still had to get outfitted, childcare, this, that, the other. It's hard. I just can't, the power of being outside, like fresh air, just is so good for
game
the soul.
changer, isn't it?
And I'm really big advocate for filling your cup up. As a mum, I think we can't be good mums until we look after ourselves first. And I really stand by that. And I know myself personally, if I am struggling, I just go for a walk. I know it's not that easy for everybody, but Ambrose knows that I'm sorry, you want me to look after our 4 children, you want me to be the best partner and wife, you need to give me time. And I know in the early days that's really hard. You and I know that. Some days it's even hard to leave the bedroom. But if grandma comes over or your partner's home from work, just even go to the shops by yourself. Just go to the shops and do the food shop. Just 20 minutes by yourself is sometimes enough to just feel human again.
Just to break out of that.
And it's good for your baby. Like it's good for your partner to have time with the baby as well. I remember I was so protective of Alfie. I was like, you're not saying that. He's like, but it's my baby. I'm like, I know. But he needs his mum.
I'm the expert as well.
I'm the expert and he needs his mum. But no, you need to be independent as well. You still need to have a little bit of you.
Do you think that's what's encouraged Ambrose to be so hands-on too? I mean, he's probably naturally hands-on.
He is naturally hands-on and he's the best father ever.
Yeah.
But also I'm not shy in saying, I'm fucking drowning.
Yeah.
You go to the footy club one more time, I'll fucking kill you. Take the kids to the footy club with you. You know, no, he's very good now. You know, with our businesses that we have, I just said to him, I actually can't sustain this, so I actually need help.
Yes.
And I'm normally the person that doesn't ask for help. I just do it until I drown.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not working anymore. I need your help. But in the first 6 weeks, it's definitely a case of lean on your village. Yeah. Go for a walk as a mum. Just get out even for 10 minutes. I can't reiterate that enough. You know, I remember Ambrose had to go fill up the car. I was like, I'll do it. He was like, what do you mean? I'll just do it, babe. You relax. I'm like, no, I'll go out. I just wanted to go out.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Just that quiet time where you hear yourself think.
Yep.
Totally love it. Well, we're doing, next week we're catching up about how you bloody juggle it all, or how we try to, and the chaos that is our lives. So that will be coming next week. Thank you so much, Amelia.
Thanks
again.
for having
it was
me.
Great to chat.
Speak soon.